What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how I use TradingView to trade ICT concepts. Now if you guys are new to the channel, my name's John. I used to trade options with the break and retest strategy and basically switched over to futures a few months ago. It was about the end of last year where I really got into futures and the whole prop space, and ever since then, man, learning this new strategy by ICT, it's basically helped me become more consistent with my trading. I was able to pass multiple prop firms, and like I said before, I learned ICT, I was trading the break and retest strategy. And you know, with options, well, if you guys don't know what the options, there's just a lot of things that affect the price of an option. You got to mess with the Greeks and theta decay and all these things, you know, what time frame you're gonna have the option for. So there's just a lot of things that go into the price movement of an option contract, and I decided to make the switch over to futures. I also saw that a lot of top traders on YouTube that I follow were also making the switch from options over to futures. So I went ahead and decided to give it a try, and I never looked back. Now I still enjoy trading options. I do still have my Webull account and also the Robinhood account that I traded with, but primarily 90% of the time I'm focused on futures, and also with the prop firms, you know, passing those combines and working towards making the first payout and whatnot from those firms. I do also have a personal futures account that I set up, and if you guys watched a couple videos back, I showed you the process of me taking out I believe it was almost $500 or $600 in 3 days of trading using the ICT concepts I'm going to show you here in a minute, and also utilizing the indicators and basically doing everything here on TradingView, because with prop firms you can link up your TradingView account to the prop firm's trading platform or whatever, and basically you can carry out all your trading on TradingView, which is cool because you don't have to switch back and forth to different platforms like I used to. So it makes everything a lot easier. So in this video, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and show you the indicators that I use to trade ICT. Now before we go further though, if you guys haven't watched the 2022 ICT mentorship, that's the one I watched. That's how I learned about ICT and the strategies that he uses and whatnot. So I kind of came from that whole scope of what, you know, what trading is for me as far as ICT is concerned. But if you guys watch the videos, you know that he doesn't really like a lot of indicators, or he doesn't even like believe in indicators and whatnot. But you know, I'm not ICT, I'm John, and I do find them that they help me, especially for a beginner. But if you do watch the videos, he does talk about he doesn't like anything on his charts. He likes it basically naked is what he says. There's really no annotations because he's been doing it for so long. Like, he doesn't need an indicator to map out like these fair value gaps and whatnot. You know, he doesn't need that because he can see it. And that's the same with me. I'm kind of getting there, but I do still like the indicators. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there for if there's any ICT you know, gurus that are watching the video that say, hey, you know, he doesn't like. I understand that, but for me, I do like it. And when ICT does mark up the charts, he does call it put it on lipstick or something like that, but he does like a naked chart just like you're seeing here. Okay, so with all that being said, let's go ahead and go into the video. The first thing I'm going to talk about is basically I guess my layout right here, right? How I have my chart. You see I have the different colors, everything's matching, and then over here on the right I have my custom watch lists up here. I have futures, options, fast pairs, because I used to trade forex too. I tried that out, and then of course I got crypto, but right now we're in the futures tab, and over here I just have the ES, the ES, I have MES, which is the little brother, which is a smaller contract of this one, and then I have NQ and then MNQ, which is the little brother of NQ, and then I have gold, and then I believe this is crude oil, which is yeah. So I don't really trade these two yet. I'm kind of interested in getting my feet wet with these, but for now I really just trade the NASDAQ. So primarily the MNQ because it's a smaller contract. First things first, let's go ahead and talk about, you know, the color schemes and whatnot in here. So if you guys want to change the color of your charts, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is once you come into, actually, you know what, we'll come over here real quick. So we'll go home real quick. So once you're in this home tab, if you look up on the top, obviously this is where, you know, you'll sign in and whatnot, but over here you're gonna have your products, and this is where you come to click to get to where we just were. So you're gonna hit super chart. So when you go to super chart, whatever layout you have saved, it's gonna pop up. It automatically saves it. You can see here, auto save, just make sure that is toggled on. So whenever you're done annotating your charts for the first time, just make sure you come up here and have this toggled on, and then you can also name your chart whatever you want and save that. Okay, and then that'll be what pops up from here on out. Okay, so to change the colors, if you guys don't like it, you know, green and red like the traditional with the little grid in the back and all that, you're just gonna right click on here, you're gonna go to settings, and then over here you're gonna see these little icons. You got symbol, status line, scales and lines, canvas, trading, alerts, and events, and then of course you have a template. So under this one right here, actually, you know what, let's see. Okay, yeah. So first, if you want to change the background, right? So right now, as you guys can see, I have it all black. That's how I like it. I don't like having the grids or anything like that. So what you're gonna do is come in here and you're just gonna change this to black, okay? Just go ahead and click both of them, put them on black. And then for grid lines, go ahead and put none. I do not want the grid lines, because if you had them, then this is basically what happens. You see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it popped up horizontal grid lines. I don't really like any of that, so I have it on none. So yeah, so basically that's what I did here. And then of course you can put, obviously you want to save that, right? So save as, and then name it what you want it, so that it'll be perfect the next time you come in. And then over here, if you come to trading, if you guys see right here, this says buy and sell buttons. If you click that, it's gonna have the buy and sell buttons up here, but I don't utilize these at all, because like I said, when you're trading with I trade with TradingView, that's who most of the prop firms use as their broker or whatnot, linked through TradingView. I just opened up the trade dash down here, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute, but you can toggle that on and off. All of these right here, profit and loss. So if you want to screenshot how I have it, you can go ahead and screenshot that, but that's pretty much how I have my setup for trading. Let's come up here to symbols, and I believe this is where you can change the colors of the actual candles, but let me make sure I have that one. Just let me see real quick. Yeah, okay, so basically in this symbol list right here, this is how you're going to change the colors. You can change the body, the borders, and the wicks, and just pick whatever colors you like. If you want to leave it the standard colors, the green and reds, then don't change anything on here. But if you do want to mess with that, this is where it's going to be. Electronics. So if you guys, like I said, just follow all this. Make sure the time zone is on New York though. That's very important. You want to make sure you're lined up exactly with what they're doing over there on Wall Street. So after you're done with all that, like I said, be sure to save it as a new template. So when you log in, like I said, everything will be just the way you had it before. Let's come under alerts, alert lines, alert volume right here. This is where, man, make sure you guys come in here and turn this down, man, because I'm telling you, it was like way up here when I first had an alert. And I have 4 monitors, and man, this thing was so loud, it woke everybody up, because I had an overnight watch alert that I guess got triggered, and man, I thought there was like a fire alarm or something. This thing went crazy. So make sure you guys turn that down. And then of course, just please go ahead and save that. And let me see what else we have over here. What is this? I don't think I messed with any of this stuff. No. Canvas. Nope, we were just in that. Status line, what's this? Oh, okay, so logos, if you want to change any of these, just toggle on and off. Yeah, so that's pretty much how these work, and pretty much what I do is I just change the borders on here as far as the colors of the candles, and then on the canvas I made it all black. And then with the alerts, I turned that down, and then like I said, save it in the end. But that's how you set that up. And then if you want the matching volume, you have to actually come in here into the volume indicator. Where's it at? Let's go. Actually, you know what? Come up here. volume. So you're gonna come hit settings, style, and then boom, this is where you're gonna change the colors to match. It don't match 100%. I didn't want it to be like 100% matching, so I kind of offset the colors a little bit, but this is where you do all that. Okay, and then like I said, go ahead and save it as a default and then push OK, and now you have that. And then once you got that set up the way you want it, come back up here and make sure, like I said, this is on auto save. If you're not sure it's toggled on, just go save layout, so everything's getting saved. All right, so we talked about setting up the chart and the colors. Now let's go ahead and talk about real quick if you want to set up a custom watch list. Let's say you don't want the minis on here, or you don't want gold and crude oil or anything like that. All you got to do is come up here. Okay guys, so back to what I was talking about. If you want to create a new list, you're just going to come over here, click this down drop menu, and then create new list. So go ahead and click that, and when you do that, go ahead and name it. So let's say you want to do I don't know, let's just do futures again. You'll type that in there, and if you guys see I have like a little gesture with the hand and all that, you can come right here, click this, and this is where you can put those on there. So let's say you have that one, and then you want to put like futures, and then go ahead and save it, and it's going to go ahead and pop in the new list. And then if you want to add symbols, you just come up here, hit the check mark, and then you want to come right here. They have all stocks, funds, futures, forex. If you're interested in futures, come here. Like I said, NQ is like the big dog, right? That's a big contract. I don't trade that one, I trade this one. So let's say you wanted to add this one, you just hit the plus button, and there you go. And if you want the correlating asset, which is ES, and you want the mini of that, this is the one that you would put over there. So that's how you add symbols to your list. And it's pretty cool right there. So go ahead and save that, and all this red thing means is it's just like an important symbol or whatnot. You can toggle that on and off, don't really matter. But yeah, so that's how you set up your custom watch lists over here. So let's see what else we're going to talk about before we go into the actual indicators. So that's pretty much it for the, I guess, setting up the chart and whatnot. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the indicators that I actually use to trade ICT concepts. So let's go into that section. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and go into the next section, which is the indicators. And I'm going to tell you about the models that I use, that I trade, that utilize the indicators. So first of all, let's go up here to the indicator list. Now these are some of the favorites, and if you want, go ahead and screenshot this real quick so you guys can get the right ones. So basically, what I have here at the top, I have average true range. I'll talk about this one here in a minute. I have dynamic 4 candle accurate highs and lows, and then I have fair value gaps by Lux Algo, ICT everything. I have ICT kill zones and pivots by TFO, and then I have the previous day high and low. So go ahead and, like I said, go ahead and screenshot this real quick, and then we're going to go into the chart, and I'm going to show you what it looks like with these on there. The only one I don't have on there right now is the average true range. The reason why I did have this one though real quick was because whenever you get into a position, it basically tells you what's the average true range that the candles have been trading in for a certain amount of time, so that when you put your stop, it'll give you a better indication of how far down you need to put it. Because like I said, like let's say in the last 10 minutes of trading, the average true range per candle has been about like 10 to 12 points. So that just gives you like a little heads up, like, hey, don't be putting your stop at 7 points because the average true range has been 10 to 12. So even though you might be right, you could get stopped out due to the range of the candles, right? So this indicator right here could help you with that if you need it, but like I said, I don't have that on anymore. I mainly have these. So let's go ahead and get onto the chart, and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna go ahead and pop on, I'd say the one that I use the most and that's most crucial to how I trade. It's gonna be this one right here. It's gonna be the Lux Algo fair value gap, and I'm gonna go ahead and toggle that on. Now I hope you guys can see this, but basically what this does is it highlights every fair value gap that pops up on your charts for you automatically, so you don't have to mess with it. And if you guys can see, it does bullish fair value gaps right here, and it also does the bearish ones right here. This is a real small one right in here. So the reason why I like this indicator is because like I said, I learned the ICT 2022 model, and in that model it uses a lot of fair value gaps with market structure shifts. So like I said at the beginning, we're still learning, we're beginners. It's just good to have an indicator that will map those out for you. So I found this indicator right here, and what I like to do once I see that an indicator has popped up, I'll go ahead and get this little this little square box tool here. And once it maps it out for me and it's a fair value gap that I'm interested in trading, I go ahead and use this to go ahead and map it out permanently. So now it's here, right? And I have my own custom templates here. So like, let's say we're in a 2-minute chart. So I have this box here. I'll come here to this template and I'll go ahead and put 2-minute fair value gap. So whenever you're watching my trader recaps or anything like that, if you see this box right here and it's blue like this, that means it's a fair value gap, and it usually has a number of the time frame we're in. So basically, like I said, the indicator will pop them out for me so I can see them, and if it's one I want to trade, I'll go ahead and use my tool and I'll go ahead and pop it on there. Now it's real cool too. You can come in here and edit this. So if you want to edit it, you can come in here, and as you guys can see, you can put 2-minute fair value gap. And then you can also do how you want the text alignment. So right now I have it on the bottom to the right. So if you guys want it just like this, go ahead and screenshot that so you guys can see. Let's come to the colors. I have the midline set up because in ICT it's very important. This midline right here, it's consequent encroachment. Basically when price comes into the box, if it stays above the 50% line up here, it's an indication it's a very, very strong bullish move. If it breaks that and comes into this lower quadrant here, it could indicate a lower, weaker move, right? So that's pretty cool to have that on there. So if you want that, just go ahead and click this. And as far as backgrounds, go ahead and click that because that's what gives it the color. If you don't want it that color, here's where you can change it, and then here's where you can change the the amount of color you want popping through with the opacity down here. So I like it, right around here. And so once you got it all set up, here's a template. Go ahead and save as, name it what you want, and save it. And when you go forward and you want to do it again, just click the tool, and it's automatically going to be with the settings that you set up from before. The only thing you're going to have to change is you're going to have to come in here and indicate which time frame you're in, right? So let's say it wasn't a 2-minute, let's say it was a 4-hour, where you're going to come pick your 4-hour template. So you're going to have to do this for every hour, every time frame you're trading, and you have a fair value gap if you want to go that far into it. So but that's how I do it, and that's the first indicator that I use. Let me go ahead and show you guys. In the indicator, you can actually come in and hit this little gearbox right here, and when you're in here, you can go ahead right in here. This is where you can change the colors of the fair value gaps, right? So for bullish, let's say you wanted a green, just go ahead and put the green right here. And let's say that you wanted the bearish one to be red, you just click it here and you go ahead and put red, and it'll change the fair value gap to red. And then over here you can adjust the opacity as well. And then once you get everything set up the way you like it, go ahead and you can go ahead and save it as a template down here, or save as default, and then it'll be, it'll be just like that from here on out. The reason why I have mine darker, I usually have them like right here, is because, like I said, I don't like a lot of stuff on my charts really. So if I can't see it all the time and it's not like right there in your face, that's okay, because I just want something very subtle. So these lower color schemes work good for me, but I do have it here just for the video, so hopefully you guys can see it better. But that's how you set that up if you guys use this indicator. I don't really mess with any of this stuff over here, so don't worry about that. So that's that first indicator. Now we're gonna go ahead and toggle this one off, and we're gonna go into the next indicator that I use, which is, I have used this one before. It's a dynamic period candle, and basically what this does is it maps out the 4-hour candle here on your right side. So if you guys are trading the Power 3 strategy by ICT, they use this one a lot. So basically you don't have to go to like the 4-hour to see what the 4-hour candle is doing. It'll pop up right here in your chart here, and it's really cool because it'll map out the high and the low of the 4-hour. And basically when you're trading the Power 3, you'll see you'll see accumulation, and then you'll see the manipulation come down. And whenever the manipulation comes down, say it sweeps out that liquidity right here, you can see for sure that it did put in that low on the 4-hour candle, and then you can go ahead and set yourself up for a nice possible entry to to basically fill in this next candle, to basically fill in the top part of the 4-hour candle, right? Because you already put in the low, so now let's go put in the high. That's kind of, you know, what this will help you, I guess, visualize and whatnot without having to switch back and forth. So if you guys trade that, go ahead and get that indicator. It'll help you out. Let me go ahead and erase that. All right, so the next one that I have on here is the ICT kill zones. Now this one is very important for another strategy that I like to trade, and that's called the IFVG strategy. So basically with this indicator, it's going to map out all the kill zones. So if we go ahead and zoom out a little bit, right in here, as you guys can see, it maps out the Asia, the London, and the New York AM, lunch, and PM sessions. Now this is a really important indicator for the IFVG strategy if you guys trade it, because you want to map out, you want to have the London and Asia highs and lows mapped out for you, because in the morning when you come in, what you're looking for with the IFVG strategy is you're basically looking for price during New York to come in and sweep either, sorry about that. So what you're looking for is that you're looking for price to come in and sweep either the London low or Asia low or whatever, or both. And you're basically looking for a reaction to come target the opposite draw on liquidity, which is usually the Asia high, Asia low, the Asia high or London high. So that's what this indicator is really good at, is mapping out all those levels for you so you don't have to worry about it. So like I said, I use that one primarily with the IFVG strategy, so that's pretty cool. And if you want to change up some of the settings on that, just come over here, hit the gear icon. Now if you guys want it exactly like how I have it, I'm gonna try to scroll down slow so you guys can screenshot this or record it. So here we go, real slow, and then I'll come back and talk about what everything means and what I've changed. Okay, so starting at the top, really I didn't mess with nothing up here. The only thing that I changed on this chart was the display text and show kill box. So basically this zone in here, I just made these darker, and that's the London, that's the New York AM, PM, and lunch sessions. The reason why is because when I'm trading, when I do trade the New York session, I don't want, a lot of colors. Like I said, I like a naked chart, but I do sometimes trade the Asia and London sessions, and I don't mind having the colors there. It's just good to map out. But when I'm in a New York session, I like to have these black, because as you guys can see, there's a lot more sessions than there are over here, right? So there's 3. I don't want 3 different colors going crazy, making everything more complicated. So if you want to change the color, just come in here, put the color you want, and you can change the opacity to in here. So you can do that for everything, right? Say you don't want red for London, you can go ahead and change it to whatever color you want. But I believe these came standard, so that's how I have it set up. Over here, style and visibility, never really mess with any of those. But once you make any changes, just make sure that you come in here and save as default. So whenever you pull it back up, it's gonna be just like you wanted it, okay? So that's how I use that indicator with the IFVG strategy. All right, so let's go ahead and turn that one off. And then this one right here, this is the next one I use, and this is the previous day's highs and lows. And I'm gonna go ahead and toggle it on. And basically what this one does is it just maps out the previous day's low and the high. And that's very important for ICT trading, is because you want to know where these levels of liquidity are, because those are draws, very strong draws on them, along with the Asia high, Asia low, and whatnot. So it's just good to have those mapped out on the chart. And if you want to adjust this setting here for this indicator, you can come back here, hit the gearbox, and you can actually toggle this button on, and it'll actually show the previous highs and lows of basically like within the session, right? So the big ones down here, that's the previous day, and then it'll have like the smaller one in here, like up here and right here, this is from what happened today. This is what happened from yesterday. So that's just pretty cool to see. And you can also differentiate the lines if you want more I guess clarity of what you're looking at. You just come over here, I believe, where is it at? No, hold on one second. Okay, I guess you can. I thought you could make one a dotted line. I could have swore you could, but I'm not seeing it right now. But anyways, you guys get the picture. If you don't want it, just take it off and it'll just be the previous day highs and lows. That's good enough. All right, so and this indicator is good to use for all ICT concepts, right? For everything, right? You want to know where the previous day high and low is, so that's a great indicator to use. All right, I'm going to toggle that one off. And then this one right here, I primarily use this one, which is ICT everything. I know you can't see it's cut off, but it's ICT everything. Basically, the only thing I use on this one is the true day open, or the market open at I believe it's at midnight. So that's what I use that for. And the reason why is because the way I was taught, let me take this off, is let's say you come to New York. Let's turn on the ICT kill zone so you guys can see. All right, right in here. So the way that I was taught to use the true day open, which is this 00 right at midnight, is a New York session. Whenever New York opens, if we're below this true day open, we're basically, you can have a bullish sentiment because we always want to come back to this true day open. That's a very big draw on liquidity as well. And if we open and we're super high above the true day open, right, then you can have a more bearish sentiment because we want to work our way back down into here. Now, if you guys are familiar with trading stocks or options, you probably heard of the VWAP. You know how the VWAP was a volume weighted average price, and basically price always wanted to come back to the VWAP, right? So that's kind of what this is. That's how I was taught. So that's that indicator and how you can use it with ICT. And that's pretty much it, man. Let me go ahead and toggle that back off. And if you guys want to toggle anything off and on, just hit the, the eyeball thing and it'll turn off. All right. So those are the indicators that I use and the strategies that I use them with. What's the next thing we're going to talk about? Let's see, 1 second. All right, guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and show you how I trade using the indicators I just showed you in the previous section. So I'm going to come over here real quick and I'm going to toggle the indicators back on. And so as you guys can see, we have the kill zones, Asia and London. We have the highs and lows of the previous day, which is right here. That's the low. This is the high. We have that true day open, which is right here. And then the little gray boxes are the fair value gap indicator that I showed you earlier. Now, let's say that you were trying to link up an account to trade on TradingView real quick. The way you do that is you're going to come down here. Let me move this out the way. You're going to see this little panel down here. It says trading panel. You're going to go ahead and maximize that. And here's where you can choose the broker that you're signed up with. So for pretty much most combines like Apex, My Funded Futures, Take Profit Trader, even your own personal futures account with Trade-O-Vate, this is the one that you're going to use. For most prop firms, it's going to be a demo because when you're doing the combines, and even if you go to a funded account, they're going to be demo until you get moved to a live funded account. Okay, there's a difference. But for me, I do have both. I do trade with the prop firms, and then I also have my own live account with Trade-O-Vate. So this is where you would sign in. So go ahead and put your info in here and put connect. Once you connect it, you're gonna have your trading panel. When you click this, it's gonna pop up right here, right? So that's where you're gonna have your where you can take your trades and whatnot. Let me just log in for you real quick to the personal account that I have on here. And so once you hit the you see that right there, that's where you can go ahead and take your trades. Now real quick, I will show you whenever we get into position over here how to use the limit in the market and sell and buy and all that. I'll show you how I do it, but that's how you log in. So let's go ahead and continue with the video. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that out the way. So we got the indicators turned on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I use them in a scenario like taking a trade. So we're on a 15-minute chart right here, and basically what I like to see is the overall picture of what's going on. To do that, you would want to go to the 4-hour, right, to get the overall bias. And as you guys can see, we've been making higher highs, higher lows, stair-stepping our way up. And as you guys can see here, with that indicator, it's mapped out that we are within this like huge 4-hour bullish fair value gap. So the sentiment overall should be bullish. I'm sorry. So you could be going into the day like, hey, I see this big 4-hour gap that we're in. It's a bullish one. So if I'm going to be looking for any kind of trades, I want to try to stick to the upside, right? So once you get that overall narrative, we can go down to the 15 minute. And once you're in the 15 minute, you go ahead and wait for like a setup. So for instance, we're going to go ahead and walk this back with replay. And let's come to 9:30, so right around New York Open. As you guys can see, we do have the lows here, the previous day high, the previous day low. We have that midnight opening price, right? And remember what I told you, if we open up below this, market sentiment's going to want to basically come back to this level. And of course, we have all these highs up here from London session high, and we also have that previous day high, and then we also have the Asia session high. So if we open up lower, here in a minute, you should be anticipating like, hey man, we could be wanting to make a run at all this liquidity built up here. And so I'm going to show you the strategy with the IFVG utilizing these indicators. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead to market open. So we're going to go down to a 1 minute. I don't know if it'll do it, but let's hope it does. But real quick, you see this line right here, this London low. Sometimes it won't carry out all the way when the market opens. So what sometimes I like to do is I'll come in and highlight it, and I'll just make it red, right? So that I know for sure, like I can see it. Boom. And so I'll do something like that. I can even make it solid just to make it match. All right, so whenever we come into market open here at 9:30, what I'm going to be looking for with the strategy is I'm going to be looking for a sweep of the London low, and possibly we can invert a bearish fair value gap, and then we can go ahead and target these these highs left open up here, which is the London, the previous day, and then the Asia. So we'll see what happens. But as you can also see over here, guys, the cool thing about that indicator that maps out the fair value gaps is you can see right here on the 15 minute, we have a nice 15 minute bullish fair value gap that we're bouncing out of here, and we're coming back in here. So that could play also in the narrative of taking a trade. So let's go ahead and drop down to a 1 minute, and let's see what happens when we play out the price action, and let's see if we can get an entry. So let's go ahead and let's play it out. Here we go. And so boom, right here we had market open, we have a nice sweep of the London low, and as you guys can see, we are now inside of that 15 minute bullish fair value gap that we mapped out from over here. And so everything's looking good, right? We're wicking out of this fair value gap just like we did here. So everything's looking good, but we need fair value gap to invert. So let's keep on playing price action and see if something sets up. There we go. All right, so we came back in. Let me go ahead and go back one more bar. Sorry about that. Okay, and so as you guys can see, when we swept it right here, we swept the London low, and this low point right here, we came up, but we didn't get no fair value gaps to inverse, right? There was no bearish fair value gap to invert to the way up, so there was no trade here. But over here, as you guys can see, we had some big displacement. And remember, a fair value gap, if you guys don't know, it's a 3 candle pattern. You got candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, and the gap in the middle, that's the fair value gap that you want to mark out. And even though it's on the bearish side, we're still going to mark it out. And I would have still done it like this. I would have made it a 1 minute fair value gap, just like that. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for price to, where's my little tool at? Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if price wants to come through this, have a closure above, right? And if it does, I'm going to take my entry there. My stop's going to be below the gap, and I'm basically going to be targeting the above liquidity, right, that we have, which is the London high, Asia high, the true day open. So all that's up here waiting to get filled. So we just got to wait and see what presents itself. But right now we do have the first part, which is that bearish value gap that we're waiting to see if we get an inverse on. So let's go ahead and play price and see if we get that inversion. All right, right here, boom, on that candle right there, guys. All we need is a close. So let me go ahead and get my tool. All right, so you see right here, let me zoom in. So you see right here, guys, we have that close right here. So that is going to be our entry. So come down here, I have a long position tool here. And so what you would do is you would go ahead and, like I said, guys, you're anticipating all of this. So even though it hadn't inverted, I would have already been anticipating what this little tool, this position tool, to be like mapping out my position, right? So I would have already been anticipating if we did get that inversion, that this is what I'm looking for as far as the setup, right? And so it would be something like this, right? And then as soon as we got that closure right here, boom, I'd have my limit order set. So obviously the market's not open, so it's not going to show, but you could have your limit here, and your stop loss would be here, and your take profit would be up here. And so everything will be ready to go as soon as we got that closure, like we did right there. I'm pushing buy and I'm in the trade, okay? And once this gets inverted, I do this fast, guys. So I actually come in here and I'll change that to red. And that tells me that, hey, this 1 minute fair value gap just got inverted, so now it's red. So if you guys ever watch my playbacks, that's what it is, and that's what it means. So we're gonna go ahead and play it out, and let's see if we hit this first take. Well, it wouldn't be first take, it could probably be a full take profit. Honestly, it's a pretty big, it's a 3-to-1, so it's pretty good. So we'll go to play it out and see what happens. Now if you're looking for where you should go to break even, or you know, where you could take profits along the way, what a lot of traders do is right here at this little high, they will you could just go to break even, right? So if we get a close above here, then you can go ahead and take risk off and put it to break even and just let the trade play out, you know, risk free and stress free, honestly, and see if it can run up to these next levels of liquidity that I drawn to up on the top. So let's go ahead and play it out and let's see what happens. All right, so here we go, boom, right here. So you could go to break even, or you could take a partial. It's up to you. I like to do both. So once we hit that with a nice strong closure above, you can go ahead and bring your risk to break even. So now we're on a break even trade. We're risk free, and let's see if it plays out to take profit. Go ahead and play it again, and little trace back. And boom, right there, guys, that's where we hit TP. So you would be all out right there, or you could have some runners to see if it wants to go up to this Asia high up here. So yeah, it's up to you, but that's basically how the trade could play out using the indicators that I showed you. And in case you guys are wondering, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off real quick so I don't confuse anybody. But in case you guys are wondering, like, hey, well, isn't this considered like a inverted 15-minute fair value gap? No, it's not, because if you go to the 15-minute time frame, as you guys can see right here, it never got a closure below this 15-minute fair value gap on a 15-minute time frame. So that's very, very key to remember. If you're going to be drawing out fair value gaps on a higher time frame, it doesn't get invalidated unless it gets, you know, a closure from that candle from the 15-minute. The 1 minute closure down here doesn't do nothing. It's a wick. You get what I mean? On a higher time frame, it's a wick. It's not a body closure like it is if you were to go to a 15-minute and they did get a body closure down here instead of this wick, then yeah, it would be invalidated, and this would technically be you know, this would be an inverted bearish fair value gap. But as you guys can see, we did not on a higher time frame. It was just a wick. But just in case you guys are confused about that, that's how that works. So yeah, that's how the indicators would work if you were to use them, or how I use them when I'm trading. I hope this helped you, and we're going to go into the next section, which is going to be just some final tips and final thoughts, and then we'll go ahead and end the video. All right, guys, so that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. Sorry it was long. There's just a lot to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it's going to help you. I'm going to leave you with some final tips that have helped me when I first started trading this new strategy. So basically this right here, this is the macro times. We have the London, the New York, so all the macros. If you want, go ahead and screenshot this, and this is the guy that I guess made it. So this has definitely helped me you know, set up some good trades during these key times that ICT teaches. So there's this, and then one more thing, guys, I want to show you that'll help you out if you guys need help calculating the risk for the contracts and whatnot. If you're trading futures, specifically MNQ, this little chart can help you guys out. And if you have multiple monitors, you can go ahead and pop this up on one monitor, and that little this little macro time, pop that up on the same monitor and kind of split it so you can have them both up there, if that'll help you. But if you only have one monitor, no problem, but just go ahead and screenshot that, maybe it'll help you out. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below if you want to see some more tutorials on something that you guys are having problems with. Let me know, man. I'm always trying to help, you know, spread the love, spread the knowledge and whatnot. I'm not gatekeeping anything. Let me see. And yeah, I did also start a new Discord for ICT traders. It's brand new. There's only like a few members, including myself. Pretty much brand new. So if you guys want to join, let's go ahead and grow that community so we can all follow each other's journeys and, you know, support each other along the way, because you guys know trading is super hard and there's a lot of obstacles we've got to go through. But if we can work together and encourage each other, I believe it'll go a long ways for everybody's development and whatnot. So yeah, man, hope you guys liked the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.